Street. The most important date in that history is March 15th, 1915. That's the day our founder, Mr. Carl Laemmle, opened the gates of Universal City to the public. The images on your screen now are from those opening days. Carl Laemmle had an idea to show audiences where and how we make the movies, and so he opened the gates of what he dubbed the strangest city in the world. We invited audiences out here onto the lot where we showed them how we make airplane stunts happen, and even a flash flood and a duel with cowboys. In fact, those opening day ceremonies were the inspiration of the tour we are on today. Now, a moment ago, I called this Universal City. Check it out on your right-hand side. That's our very real fire station. The firefighters of Fire Station 51 keep us safe here at Universal City 365 days a year. You might want to take a picture, folks. It could be the only real thing I show you today. Now, it's not just the fire station that makes us a city here at Universal. We also have our very own zip code, and at one time, we even had our own mayor and our own DMV. The biggest difference between our city and your city is that nobody actually lives here. Instead of finding houses, condos, and apartment buildings, out here at the Universal lot, you'll find 28 sound stages and acres of backlot where we can create just about anything you can imagine. Coming up on your left-hand side is our largest and oldest standing soundstage. Soundstage 12 was constructed in 1929 for the musical Broadway. At 29,000 square feet, it has since been home to some of the largest sets in Hollywood history, including Dracula's Lair, Frankenstein's Lab, Scarface's Mansion, and the Visitor Center for Jurassic Park. Now, the street that we are on now brings the past and present together here at Universal Studios. On your left, these are some of our older sound stages, and on your right is the very newest thing to join our theme park. If you're wondering what it is, folks, come back and see us early 2023. It's going to be Super Nintendo World. Come ride through Bowser's Challenge here at the theme park. Now, on your left-hand side, the sound stages that you see right now are being prepped for filming the second season of Grand Crew. And sound stages 7 and 8, which are about to come up on our left-hand side, are currently being used to film the second season of Bel Air, starring Jabari Banks. 7 and 8 are pretty cool because they have a wall in the middle of them that can be removed for filming, so these two sound stages can be used together as one giant sound stage. That's what we did when we built a big box store in there to film Superstore, starring America Ferrera, Ben Feldman, and Mark McKinney. All right, now, these food trucks here on your left-hand side are actually one of the most important parts of any film shoot. This is what we call craft services. Craft services is the food. It's how you feed your cast and your crew and keep everybody happy. So Mario's Catering is doing that today for the cast and crew of Never Have I Ever. Thank you, Mario's. If you have an extra burrito, you can save me one. I would totally take it. To our left now is Soundstage 14. Now, what makes 14 unique is it has a pit in the middle of it that can be filled for filming. You can film a pool inside there, or like in Apollo 13, Mission Control in Houston. That big white building behind us now on your left, that one's a parking structure. We use it to park cars. NBC's television history goes back over 80 years to the very first televised broadcast of the opening of the New York World's Fair in 1939. Since then, we've been part of some of the biggest and longest running television shows in history. Folks, it looks like Soundstage 16 on your right has an open door. You can peek inside there and see part of the set for Mindy Kaling's Netflix series, Never Have I Ever, which stars Maitreyi Ramakrishnan. They're filming season 4 out here on the lot right now. Now, you might have noticed some of the walls that you saw inside Soundstage 16 have ropes tied to the top of them. The ones with the ropes tied to them are what we call wild walls. Those can be flown out to the ceiling so that we can get cameras really close to the actors for any shot that we might need. Coming up on On your left-hand side, this bank of trailers here is what we call a base camp. Now, a base camp is where you keep everything you need for a film shoot that doesn't fit on the soundstage. If you read the signs on the trailers, you might be able to tell what or who is using those trailers. That one is set up for Never Have I Ever. We just passed the hair and wardrobe trailers, as well as some of the trailers for the actors. Alright, if you look behind you on your right, it looks like Soundstage 19 also has a giant open elephant door. You can peek inside there to see what the crew of Quantum Leap is working on right now. In the early days of movie making here at Universal Studios, we gave actors apartments to use out here on the lot as dressing rooms. Now, though, we keep actors at base camp right next to where they need to be for filming. But those apartments are still out here on the lot. They're actually the bungalows that are now on your left-hand side. No longer used as dressing rooms, though. These are now production offices for studios here in Hollywood. This is where you'll find Dwayne Johnson's $7 Productions, which brings you The Young Rock. Mark Platt Production, responsible for Dear Evan Hansen, the movie, starring his son, Ben Platt. And the De Laurentiis Company, responsible for bringing Hannibal Lecter to the big and small screens. Now, we're pretty unique here at Universal Studios because you can go all the way from pitching your movie to premiering your movie without ever leaving this lot. In fact, the building on your right-hand side is the Johnny Carson building. It's currently a Never Have I Ever production office, but oftentimes it's used as an audition space. So if you were an actor coming out here to try to get a part on something on the Universal backlot, you'd probably head right there to the Johnny Carson building to audition. On your left-hand side, these are production offices and dressing rooms that have been built onto the front of two of our newer sound stages. The sound stages have been dubbed the Will and Grace sound stages because it's where Will and Grace came to film after their 12-year hiatus. Alright, as I pass this stop sign, we're officially leaving the front lot behind, and we are headed into what we call the back lot. This is where we film exteriors on a grand scale. You're going to notice the scenery is changing quite a bit, folks. The sets that we are catching a glimpse of right now are what we call our metro sets. And just remember, none of this is what it appears to be. Alright, pop quiz time. Can anybody shout out the number of bricks that are in the wall to your left? How many do you think? 5 million is a great guess. 0, that's right. There are no bricks in the building. It's all pretend. These are made out of foam, rubber, and fiberglass. In fact, in our Bud Westmore building, which we passed on the front lot, we have an entire wall dedicated to different patterns of brick. There are 15 types of brick that you can choose depending on what you're trying to film out here. My favorite, for some reason, is called Murder Brick. I don't know why it's called Murder Brick, but it's called Murder Brick. Fun names for things here in Hollywood. Now, the giant metal wall that's on your left-hand side might not look like much more than a metal wall, but when we round the corner, you will notice that it is changing quite a bit, all right? So, it's only why I point it out. I promise, I don't normally point out boring things like the backs of walls. All right? Okay, here it comes. Dun, dun, dun. Remember the big metal wall? Big metal wall? Oh, hi, car 3. Hi, car 4. Check it out. Now, this is a two-dimensional wall. It's called a trompe-l'oeil wall. That means to fool the eye. It's 2D, but when you see it on screen, because of the high use of contrasts and shadows, it looks three-dimensional when seen on film. So if we're filming out here in what we call Royal Crescent, or just across the way in our metro sets, or even on Courthouse Square, if we pointed a camera toward Royal Crescent here, you would never know that we're really on a movie studio because it would seem like the city just continued on. All right, out the window on our right, you can see a little view of what we call Brownstone Street. Those are made to look like the brownstone homes that you would find in New York City. These metro sets are left pretty bare, pretty blank. We don't even put signs on the windows or street lights out unless we are going to be filming out here, because these can represent just about any urban setting you want them to be. Our metro sets have been New York in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, Captain America, First Avenger, and more. They've been at Chicago in the Blues Brothers, even London in Austin Powers, and Los Angeles itself in the season 2 opener of SWAT starring Shamar Moore. And it's also where American Ninja Warrior comes every year to set up their LA semi-quarter-final obstacle course. Now, like I said, any urban setting that you want, you can film out here on our Metro sets. Director Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up in adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
All right, everybody, here's the part where I ask you to please stay seated and hang on tight. Things are about to get pretty bumpy on our adventure to Skull Island. Again, you guys, I am so sorry. I told you about the water effects at the top of the tour, but I was supposed to say you're only ever going to get wet if you chose a blue seat. Made you look. Now that epic battle was projected on some of the world's largest digital 3D screens, standing over 40 feet tall and 180 feet long, and utilizes some of the most advanced technology available in filmmaking today. It was designed by Peter Jackson and the creative team at Weta Digital, who have won 5 Academy Awards and worked on films such as King Kong, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit trilogies, and Avatar.
with a project like the studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know that people are looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot. And this tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
Now you may have noticed during our encounter with King Kong and those dinosaurs that Tramcar 5 met an untimely end. Did you see those folks get ripped off of us and onto the screen? Well, don't feel too bad for the people on board Tramcar 5 because it was actually Peter Jackson's kids and the creative team at Weta Digital. They had a great time being attacked by those dinosaurs. Now, when the tram appeared on screen, it became what we call in the industry a picture car. A picture car is any vehicle that appears on screen, whether it's in the background helping to create the environment or it plays a more prominent role in the film. Coming up in just a moment on your left-hand side, Chad and I are going to share with you some of our favorite Universal picture cars. That first car in the lineup is Kent from the 2008 Knight Rider series, hanging out next to Tom Selleck's Ferrari from Magnum PI. We call it a faux Ferrari out here on the lot though because it's the shell of a Ferrari and the engine of a Volkswagen. Now these Back to the Future 2 cars are what we were supposed to be driving in 2015. That was 7 years ago, folks, and my car still doesn't fly. Oh, but a car that certainly can fly. That's Mr. Weasley's car from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Yes, the very one that Harry and Ron flew to Hogwarts when they missed the train at platform 9 3/4. There's a gyrosphere there in our Jurassic World lineup, and uh-oh, folks, if you see someone who looks just like you, run. That boat is the Crawdaddy from Us. The tank looking one toward the end of the line there is from Transformers. It's called the Bradley Fighting Vehicle. Look closely, my friends. It's made out of plywood. A lot of vehicles that you see in the movies are made out of plywood or other lightweight materials, especially if they're big, heavy machinery like that and you never see them driven. It's a lot easier and more lightweight for our crews to carry around those plywood vehicles than the real metal machines. Now the gyrosphere we just saw might have looked like it was missing the glass, but there was never any glass on the gyrosphere. We added it in post-production using computer-generated imagery, or CGI. Now the Jurassic World folks knew just what to do with that CGI because the Jurassic Park dinosaurs are the original innovators of the technology. So without further ado, it's my immense pleasure.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
On either side of the tram, we are seeing sets and props from Steven Spielberg's original Jurassic Park trilogy. The boat coming up on your right-hand side survived a Spinosaurus attack in the original film, and the mobile lab coming up on your left was seen dangling off the side of a cliff in the Lost World Jurassic Park, and uh-oh, folks. Looks like we have some loose dinosaurs. Just do me a favor, keep your hands and legs inside the vehicle and holler if you see a Dilophosaurus, okay? Alright, there's one more dinosaur friend who wants to say hello to you on the left of our tram. That's our Spinosaurus, Barbara. Wave and say hi, Barbara. No, Barbara's not going to wave back because she's fake, but that's why I pointed her out. In fact, if you keep your eyes on Barbara as we go on by, you might notice she's only the front half of a Spinosaurus. That's because we only ever build what the camera's going to see, because you, the audience, do the rest of the work for us, filling in this case, the back of a Spinosaurus with your imagination. So thank you for Barbara's tale, everybody. Now, if you're a fan of Jurassic, you know that weather plays a large role in the films. Anytime it rains, you're bound to see a dinosaur. Here in Southern California, we don't get a whole lot of rain, so when we need it for the movies, we have to make it ourselves. Chad's doing us a big favor right now and pulling into our old Mexico sets so we can give you a live Hollywood weather effects demonstration. This is where your decision to take the tour as it's starting to get dark was a great choice. Look at that lightning.
Old Mexico.
Now the lightning is coming from what we call flash boxes, which are hidden around this portion of the lot. And that rain that you're seeing is coming from sprinklers. They're just really high up on those poles on the roofs of the building and up in the trees. The thunder is coming from speakers hidden around this portion of the lot. Although if we were filming out here today, you wouldn't hear much of anything at all. Only about 15% of what you hear in any movie was recorded at the time of filming. Alright, now just remember, this is an illusion. If you look to your left, it's raining, but if you look to your right, it's not raining. But if you look back to your left, folks, take cover. It looks like there's a flash flood heading straight for our tram. That was a big one. Now that flash flood was actually the result of thousands of gallons of recycled water being pumped out of tanks at the top of that hill there. You can see it featured on your screen in the movie Pink Fat Liar, starring Frankie Muniz and Paul Giamatti. Yeah, we'll see about that. Alright, now the man who fell in that flood is not really Paul Giamatti, it's a stunt double. That means somebody who looks like Paul took the fall for him. When Lady Gaga used our flash flood for her Judas music video, she did not use a stunt double. Instead, all 5'2" of Lady Gaga and her 6-inch heels stood in that flash flood as the water washed all over her. Alright, now we are leaving Mexico behind and we are heading into 6 Points. These are the oldest standing sets on the back lot, called 6 Points because originally we had 6 Western sets that met in a middle like spokes on a wheel. Because the movies were silent, we could make 6 at a time without interrupting each other. Now it's a one at a time kind of deal, and you might recognize this portion of our back lot as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They spent a whole lot of time, Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio did, in our opera house just over there on your left-hand side. Alright folks, I just want to let you know we are about halfway through our tour, so once again, if you drop something of value, have an emergency, just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and stay seated. Sure. Alright, now on your left as we exit, you might notice a few of the doors are a little extra small, and on your right you might notice a few are extra large. Why might we do that? Guys, read the golf carts and you can tell what people are here for. Alright, why might we have a small door? Well, if you have a little cowboy that needs to look big and tough, you stick him in a little doorway and he looks bigger and tougher than he is in real life. And if you have a damsel in distress who doesn't look like she needs to be saved, you'd stick her in a big doorway and she'd look a little bit more vulnerable. Now that's not the only illusion we're pulling on you here at the back lot. In fact, this cute little body of water on your left-hand side, it's where we filmed Showboat and the 1954 classic The Creature from the Black Lagoon, but it has also been seen as the entire Pacific Ocean in the 1960 series McHale's Navy. All you need are teeny tiny boats, and then the water looks really, really big. Across the pond, you'll see that there is a base camp set up that's here for The Voice, which is filming season 22 right now. In fact, they're filming the battles just across the way. If you've seen any of the vans that have the pink duct tape and the V on the front, those are all taken around people for The Voice. It must be the theme over there to do music shows for right now, because before it was The Voice, it was actually American Song Contest hosted by Kelly Clarkson and Snoop Dogg. Alright, it's happening, folks. We don't often go down this portion of the tour. It's closed for filming a lot of the time. You'll see it soon in the new season of Mysterious Benedict Society on Disney+. But folks, as we round this bend, Welcome to Little Europe. Look, even this floor changes to cobblestone as we enter this portion of our lot. Now this set dates back to our very first Academy Award-winning film, All Quiet on the Western Front, which came out in 1930. But the reason that it holds so near and dear to our hearts here at Universal Studios is because this is where audiences first met all of your favorite movie monsters.
Think of Universal, we think of monsters.
Dracula, Frankenstein, Frankenstein,
The Mummy.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera. Classic films. They're just brilliantly made. That Frankenstein image, Flathead, it's one of the great icons of the world. That to me was like the essence of the Universal horror film. I was just mesmerized by these movies. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney.
I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie really scaring me.
They still ring in our memories now, and we love them.
Now this next area of Little Europe is what we call the Court of Miracles. It's my favorite portion of Little Europe because it was the fictional country of Genovia in Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement, and it's where 1997's Cinderella, starring Brandy Whitney Houston, Whoopi Goldberg, and Bernadette Peters was filmed. If you remember Jason Alexander singing about the prince having a ball, it happened right there on the right-hand side of your trim. Now, our Little Europe sets have been here for a very long time. They have seen a lot of changes to movie making. The way that we create film, how we film, what happens in post-production has shifted a lot in the last 80 some odd years that this set has been out here on the back lot. And we've showed you how some of the more modern stuff works, but in just a moment, we're gonna take it back old school. Now, when we went through King Kong 360 3D, we showed you everything that we can do with computer-generated imagery and all of the advanced technology available in filmmaking today. But when we go into Soundstage 50, we're gonna show you how we made the movies back in the days of our early monster films, all right? So no 3D glasses for this part, folks. Everything that happens in this next soundstage is what we call a practical or mechanical effect. It's all gonna happen in front of the tram the same way we would have it happen in front of the camera for filming. So welcome to Soundstage 50. Here's a few clues as to what's going to happen. On your right, that orange juice ad said shake well before enjoying. On your left, that Coca-Cola ad shows some pretty shaken up bottles of pop. All right, hang on tight, everybody. Chad and I are about to shake your tram. This is Earthquake, the big one. Too soon. All right, everybody, you just survived Earthquake, the big one. If you want to see what the final product of filming in this soundstage can look like, check out your screens now for this scene from Bones, starring Illumination Alley, David Boreanaz.
Oh yeah? That's the movie.
Right, show of hands. Do I have any first-time riders on my tram tonight? Anybody on the tram for the first time? Yeah? Oh my goodness, in car 2? Wow, somebody in every car. Y'all, I am so sorry. I've had you attacked by dinosaurs. I put you through a flash flood. I stuck you in the middle of an earthquake. Look, my bad. All right, we're gonna take a break now, just a little tiny detour. Now, we're gonna go to the beach. I know that sign there says the beach is closed, but here's the scoop. We had a small shark problem, all right? But not to worry. We caught the shark. There he is, hanging out next to the right-hand side of the tram. My buddy Officer George is out there in the water making sure it's safe before we get back in. So for now, we're gonna sit back, relax, and enjoy the view of Amity Island. Uh-oh. There's another shark out there in the water. Wait, George isn't still out there, is he? Oh no, George, get out of the water! Oof, poor George was a little too curious for his own good. Not to worry, folks. Chad's gonna keep us safe. We're gonna move forward and hide behind these very flammable barrels of gasoline. Survived a shark attack. I think it's time for our next pop quiz question. All right, shout it if you know the answer. What kind of shark is that out there in the water? Hey, great white is an excellent guess, but remember folks, this is Hollywood. That's a plastic shark out there. He's plastic. Now, our plastic shark did a great job tonight. He performed beautifully. In fact, he performs consistently hundreds of times a day. Now, a plastic shark that did not perform as well, or nearly as consistently, is Bruce, the mechanical shark from Jaws.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrating. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio waves. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited around. We just waited and waited and waited.
The shark were low enough for a while there, and it was a full time. So I really owe the shark a lot.
You know, and Steven Spielberg does owe the shark a lot, even though it didn't work. In fact, it didn't work so poorly. The production for Jaws was delayed more than 100 days. And if you've seen Jaws, you know that the shark isn't very heavily featured in the film. That was not by choice of Steven Spielberg. No, it was editor Verna Fields who, after receiving all of the footage from filming Jaws on location in Martha's Vineyard, said, look, I know you tried with the shark. It did not work exactly the way we wanted. I think we could build a lot of suspense by not showing the shark instead. And that trope worked. And in fact, it became so successful that to this day, if you watch horror movies in theaters, you can see the same themes being used today. This house on the hill here is what we call our chicken ranch, originally built for the 1982 musical Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, starring Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. All right, and on our left-hand side in just a minute, we're gonna come up on what we call a hot set. There is filming happening right now on what we call Colonial Street, what you might recognize more as ABC's Wisteria Lane from Desperate Housewives. Right now, down that street, the cast of Never Have I Ever are filming. The Vishwa Kumar family is down there on Colonial Street. But Colonial Street is used often for filming. In fact, this week, there were 3 different TV series filming out here on Colonial Street, including Never Have I Ever, Quantum Leap, and the new Ted series. All right, now the area that we're passing through might not look like a whole lot, like maybe Chad and I are just trying to get you from point A to point B, but this is another filming location. The area on either side of your tram is known as Wilderness Road. If you needed to film a scene that took place in the woods or somewhere a little bit more rural, you could absolutely go camping with your cast and crew, or you could come out here to Universal where we have power, running water, and emergency services and get the same job done right here. That's what Netflix's movie Bird Box did when they filmed Sandra Bullock's campsite over on your left-hand side, and what Fox's series 911 did when they filmed a daring limousine rescue just down the hill on your right. Now, speaking of limousines, these days at Universal Studios, it's hard to go far without running into a car. Just around this next corner, see if you recognize any of your favorite metal monsters. There's the Mini Cooper from Mr. Bean, the yellow Deuce Coupe from American Graffiti. This police car is from Public Enemies, and that right there in the middle is in fact the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo. There's a whole lot of Fast and Furious vehicles here as well. Alright folks, I just want to remind you, we've got about 15 minutes left in our tour, so once again, if you drop something of value, have an emergency, just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and stay seated. Now that yellow car back there, that one is Bumblebee from Transformers. It was chosen to be yellow for a very specific reason. Oftentimes, color can play a large role in the film, or in the case with this next set, a lack of color, like in Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 film, Psycho. Welcome everybody to the Bates Motel. And up on the hill we have the original Psycho house, where legend has it, you can still see Mother rocking in her chair. Now if you're wondering what this construction is in front of the Bates Motel, come back and see us this fall, folks, for Halloween Horror Nights. Now you might know that chocolate syrup was used as blood in the movie Psycho. In fact, it was Shasta brand chocolate syrup because it was the first brand available in a plastic squeeze bottle. It worked great on film. But you might not know that to get the sound of the stabbing human flesh, Alfred Hitchcock sent a PA out to a farmer's market to get every melon he could find. The crew then spent the next few hours stabbing every single one until they found the best human flesh sound. If you're ever on Jeopardy, the answer is a cassava melon. And now for one of the largest sets still standing in Hollywood, welcome to the crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. What you see on either side of the tram are actual pieces of a Boeing 747 that was purchased and destroyed for the making of this film. Here's an interview from production designer Rick Carter and director Steven Spielberg to tell you more.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven had.
When we first began to sit down to talk about War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're sleeping good. Keep your eyes on me. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Down closed. Robbie, get in. Get in.
Universal is fortunate to have worked with generation-defining directors like Alfred Hitchcock and Steven Spielberg. And now we are thrilled to partner with Academy Award winner Jordan Peele. In just a moment, we will be taking you through the actual sets of his new movie, Nope, which stars Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Stephen Yeun. Folks, welcome to Jupiter's Claim.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, I do. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. Welcome to the world of no.
We better take that advice and get out. Now folks, the fun of Jupiter's Claim can continue for you. You can visit jupitersclaim.com to take your picture in front of the winking well and have a whole lot of other experiences from this film. Now today, Chad and I have showed you where we make the movies. We've even taken you through the middle of a set of a movie that's in theaters right now. But now it's time to put you smack dab in the middle of one of the most successful franchises in Universal history. Folks, we're about to become part of the Fast and Furious franchise. Now here's the scoop. Somebody on board this tram has witnessed a crime. The international criminal syndicate led by Owen Shaw is after us. But not to worry, folks. Hobbs said that if Dom and the crew hit us here in Sullivan's garage, then he could be able to help keep us safe. We're supposed to meet Roman Pearson here, so let's see what Roman's here for us. Hey, Roman, are you in here? Roman?
My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you from Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot.
Alright, look guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us. So put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone could give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bed and we'll meet you on it.
FBI, don't move. Him? That's right, party's over. You know how long I took to iron this shit, man? I'm not. You're under arrest right now. Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. Slightly. First of all, I don't work for you. Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for? We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety. Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun. Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Escort this novice out. Let's go, Cookie Puss. Got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family protects you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of something.
See what I'm talking about?
Oh, you back. It was on vibrate.
Sharp tricks, Dusty. Hops can't hold them forever. Lenny, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Lenny ready to roll.
All right, everybody, it's time to get those 3D glasses on and hang on tight. Things are about to get a little fast and furious.
This is our turn. After them. Okay, guys, it's showtime. I got the bull by the horn. Don't think you're getting away! Follow the doors! Way to go, Lenny! Don't climb out the missile shot! Not gonna happen! Don't worry, I got this! Coming, don't shoot! Head for the bridge! Under construction! Everybody hold on!
No, my Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it.
They say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys did good out there. And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
We can join the crew anytime. Thanks, guys. Although right about now, it's time for me to get these folks back to our theme park.
Alright, finished the ride.
Now, Chad and I know that your time here at Universal Studios Hollywood does not end with us here on the tram. So if you haven't already, go ahead and download the Universal Studios Hollywood app for the latest wait times, show times, and park hours. To our annual pass holders, thank you so much for being with us here today. And if you're not an annual pass holder and you want to be, go to our Universal box office to see how you can turn today's ticket into trips to come back and see us again and again and again. If you would like to purchase any of the movies or television shows you heard me talk about on today's tour, please visit us at www.uphe.com. Unless, of course, it's no. And then get thee to an IMAX right about now. All right, in just a minute, friends, we're going to approach the unload station. So take a second to gather any personal belongings you brought on board. We're going to stay seated until the tram is parked and the gates are open. Please take your personal belongings and your children with you and put those 3D glasses in the blue bins provided after you exit the tram. One last time, on behalf of myself, Savannah, your tour guide.